Before sending our motor, our engine block, and pieces to the machine shop, we have to go through the checklist. Block the burr, yes. Blend out oil drain black holes in the block, yes. Blend oil filter boss and number 5 main cap. We did that, but we'll get into that later. Tap front oil galleys under timing chain cover, yes. Removed rear galley plugs, yes. Freeze plugs removed, yes. Brake edge on main cap and on block. We'll get into that later. Head dowels out of block, yes. Did we put identifying stamp on the block? Yes. Did we stamp the crank snout? Yes. All 1/4-inch National Pipe plugs out? Yes. Chased all holes with thread chaser? Yes. Chamfered bowl holes? Yes. Mic the cam tunnel? Yes. Mic the lifter bores? Yes. Remove cam bearings? Yes. Mic rod side clearance? Yes. We're pretty well down to the nitty gritty. And we're going to get ready to send this. We're waiting on a flex plate and a dampener. That should be here midweek. So if it's late for some reason, and there's no other unforeseen incidents, then they'll probably take it latest on Friday. If the stuff comes, we'll try midweek. If not, we'll shoot for Friday. But it's getting pretty close. Can't wait to get it back, get into the rebuild. We need to make sure we have our I's dotted and our T's crossed. First of all, you're not ready to go to the machine shop if there is any grinding left to do on the block. Our block, the Target test motor, is done in terms of grinding. Well, I thought so, but you're not going to believe what I found. Under the oil pressure gauge fitting right here, down this hole here, about 1 inch, 415 thou, I discovered some casting flash that was not finished completely. It was down that passage right there. I looked down there for whatever reason, just checking things over, And that's not something I want to grind. I don't want to do any grinding on this block once it comes back from the machine shop. So I took care of it. I knocked it back. I checked the 410 block. It didn't have any flash there. It's right where this hole right here, this pipe plug goes right in this hole right here. And it intersects this hole. So I guess someone didn't look down there. It must have been a Friday. We are going to put almost everything into the truck to go for machining because we don't want to have something they asked for that we left back at the shop. Likewise, we don't want to not be able to answer a question we are asked. Just costs time, and we want everything to go as smooth as possible. So we're making sure we have everything. After decking the block or heads, the intake manifold has to be machined to restore gasket spaces and port alignment. 5 thou, and you have to cut 6 thou off the sides and 9 thou on the bottom of the manifold. The more you cut, the more that has to come off the intake. When you're going to balance the bottom end, you got to have everything included going to the machine shop that's in the reciprocating mass of that rotating assembly. So people often forget their spiral locks. They often forget the flex plate and the flex plate bolts. A lot of people forget the dampener. There's a lot of things that you got to remember to bring, so it's good to write them down. And the keyways for the vibration dampener are in the crank still, so they'll have them if they need them, and they probably will. Any of this stuff forgotten, you're rushing back to the shop to get it, turns a 2-hour trip into 3/4 of a day sometimes, depending on traffic. So just be concise, get everything rounded up, and get ready to bring it. There is a little star wheel on our dial bore gauge, and it skewed all our readings when measuring the lifter bores because it backed off. Our limit was 0.8435, and once we discovered the problem, all the lifter bores were over the limit. Some not so much, some more than others, but definitely over the limit. And we're going to the machine shop, so we'll just confirm with them, what our readings are. If they get the same readings, well, it's obvious that we're probably going to go to the Ford lifters. It might be our only option. But that's the nice thing about going to the machine shop. Fresh eyes and fresh opinions on engine-related matters. And finally, we're going to get all these matters resolved, and that will give us a green light to proceed with the rebuild. And we have a lot of things in this engine that are, should we say, in the experimental realm. Over here, we enjoy experimenting with different pieces to see if they are worth the mustard. Sometimes they are not, but it's worth our time to find out.